I just have to warn you, Dusty, that if the two of us should ever find ourselves in the early stages of a galactic civil war, if I'm getting tortured, I'm fucking selling your ass out instantly.
I respect that.
I hope you do the same.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't sell me out.
No.
Hmm. All right, you might want to reevaluate your friendship with me then. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a piece of shit. That's how this episode of Andor opens up here. We're on episode 9. Nobody's listening. And we open up with Bix getting interrogated.
The very worst thing you can do right now is bore me.
You're not gonna believe me anyway, are you?
Deidre's digging in. She's starting to figure some shit out.
Yep.
I think it's hilarious though that like they're going through these great lengths to try to find him, and he's just like literally in an imperial prison, and like it another one of, we've talked about this every week,
hiding in plain sight.
It's one of those illustrations that like how big and bloated the Empire is that you wouldn't
over their own foot.
Yeah, like somebody becoming a wanted man is just sitting right in one of their facilities and they just don't know it. Out of all the things that this show has done really well, that remains the thing that I find the most enjoyable. All the reasons why the Empire fell. And it's not just because of the rebellion with the help of the special boy and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of aspects that went into it.
So I was enjoying these 3-episode arcs, but it looks like we're now gonna have a 4th episode in this arc, and it's almost looking like maybe we'll see the entire arc of the season end in the prison where he escapes at the end. It's disappointing to me because I was looking forward to him getting out and us getting another 3-episode arc about something else, maybe him getting into the rebellion more. But I mean, I don't know. Escape plan, I've seen it. You know, hour and 45 minutes. Sly Stallone gets in prison, gets out of prison, he's done.
Right.
Seen Prison Break. It got a little bit boring after 2 or 3 seasons. I really don't care about any of these characters in prison unless somehow the circus character becomes the fan theory and he is Snoke.
Oh, is that a fan theory?
Yes.
Yeah, but he's not Snoke. We already know Snoke was made from Palpatine. Palpatine made Snoke. He literally says that I made Snoke.
Is it based off of his character that dies somehow? Like, are we getting a lore here somehow? The creation? That's a fan theory, and if that's not the case, then I care even less because, again, I don't care about any of these characters. I want to see him get out and move on and do something else.
I think that's
this prison thing is growing tiresome for me.
Well, I think that, first of all, I think that's a big stretch of that fan theory.
The Snoke theory? Yeah, it is. I
mean,
agree.
Palpatine literally says, for better or worse,
my boy, I made Snoke.
And while you're on Exegol, you see like other Snoke clones like in the tanks. That was his whole jam, was he was like playing with DNA splicing and like cloning and all this bullshit. I think Andy Serkis's character is going to be one of several that we've met or will meet during the course of the series. Kino is his name. That is going to instill something into Cassian to fulfill his character arc. When we first meet Cassian in the first couple episodes, like he's a very selfish guy. Like he's trying to find his sister. He's trying to get money by any means necessary to get her and get the fuck off and go have a life wherever, whatever they're trying to do. Doesn't give a fuck about the Empire. Doesn't give a fuck about the struggles or the class issues or any of this stuff. He's wanted no part of it. You know, then he goes off to work with the rebels that robbed the vault there, part of the big heist. And even still, he's doing that for selfish reasons. But you see, as he's talking to some of these guys, their idealism is kind of sticking with him a little bit, and it's a little bit of a growth for him. And now here in these last few episodes in jail, seeing him sort of interacting with these people, he's part of both times we've seen him part of groups, right?
Yep.
And the first time was very much like
he has to find his place.
He has to find his place within the group, and that's happening in both scenarios. But in this one,
yep.
It's like it's different though, right? Like both are like, you know, out of necessity and survival and this, that, and the other thing. But you could see he actually cares about these people, I think.
I am. I might need some help.
Let's switch. What? Come on.
Right, switch up.
Why?
Keep us fast.
There's a better way of saying that.
Olaf, you see Cassian like sort of caring about him, right? Like during that whole little sequence. Long story short, I think each person that we're meeting, in Kino included, they're characters that like instill a little bit of themselves into Cassian. Not all of them are interesting. I agree, but I think they do all serve a purpose.
Right, and I kind of get that. Like I can see the Andy Serkis Kino arc where you meet him in the beginning and he's like, you know, shut up, do your job, do your time, you'll get out.
Right.
And along this, we've seen like he's starting to realize, you know, this isn't the case and you're just a piece of property to them. You're just hours of labor to get whatever it is they're building done, whether it's, you know, droid parts or Death Star parts or whatever it is that they're actually building.
It's a Prison Break story, but not in the way I think you were looking for it.
Yes,
because
correct.
It's more about the group of people, right?
Right.
Olaf is going home.
You man for them today? Always the next day, right?
You know the drill.
This guy Kino, right? Like Andy Serkis, he fucking every time we've seen him, he's all about fucking, oh, got a couple more shifts left. Smoking that copium hard. He's fucking, just got a few more shifts. Got 200 more shifts. He's fucking talking to Olaf. Hey, man, you're going to get out of here soon. 14 days, you're going on. Like, that's all he fucking thinks about. And that's like the false hope that this prison camp gives these people, knowing full well they're never getting out. During this episode, right? You know, Cassian's like, no, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like, we need, he's figuring out ways. He's seeing like, oh no, they're exposed at this particular time. And when they do this, we could pounce and all this stuff. And Kino keeps saying like, shut the fuck up. I'm almost out of here. Like, don't fuck it up for me. And by the end of the episode, you know, he finally comes to terms with the fact that like, oh, well, no, I'm actually not getting out of here. And, you know, again, I think this is just a bigger picture thing about like, yeah, sure, it's about a prison break, but I think the bigger picture here is how people get involved in this rebellion, right? Like every person we've met has their own reasons for it. And I think that's
and also how the boot of the Empire progresses Cassian's story. But again, I still think it's a little slow.
I think Olaf is a big deal for him because I think he does warm up to these people because, you know, you could tell he's working with, obviously he doesn't want to get fucking electrocuted, right? For not putting in enough labor in the day or whatever the fuck happens to them. But I think a camaraderie is being built to where I think, because Olaf is clearly representative of like all of their faiths, right? Like you're just gonna grow old and die in this place, and you know I think Cassian obviously sees that now and is like, okay, well, you know, you're always stronger than
I think
the sum of your parts, right? So I think he knows that like he needs to become part of a thing to achieve what he wants to do. And I think, again, that's symbolic for like the bigger thing of like, oh, I should join the rebellion and give a fuck about it because it's a bigger thing.
I could see that, but I think Cassian already had that realization. I think that if you were to ask me about it, I think this was more towards Kino's arc of coming to the realization that, look, we're not getting out of here. Like, I think Cassian already somewhat had, like he came to the realization as well, but I don't think the story of the episode was about his realization because I think he was already closer to that than Kino was, and it was about Kino coming to that realization.
Well, Kino's going to be a key player in them getting out. He's been there longer. He knows like the inner workings. But the other thing too is, you know, and
it'll probably cost him his life. Like he's going to help them get out, knowing it's going to kill him.
We talked about it like why don't they just use fucking droids to make this shit? But there's a line in this episode that specifically addresses it. Cassian says we're cheaper than droids and easier to replace.
Yes.
So That was interesting to hear because obviously human lives are
It's
expendable.
free labor.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to pay to have them built or manufactured. So
I mean, you have to pay to build the facility, and you have to pay to feed and shelter them, but you're keeping them there against their will. So
Right.
it's indentured servitude, slave labor, whatever you want to call it.
There's also a little bit of a mystery going on another floor, and we find out by the end of the episode that essentially somebody got out of like their time ran out and they were released.
Yeah, released.
But they
Good
were
luck.
but they were sent back to another floor. It just so happened that they all recognized the guy.
Yep.
So essentially what this prison does is, oh, you're getting out? Nope. We're just sending you to another fucking department or whatever. Hoping that nobody hoping that nobody recognizes you. Well, unfortunately for all of them, they did recognize him and they all got fucking vaporized. So this rumor was sort of spreading around. Finally, it gets back to our main cast of characters here, and that's eventually they agree to help him escape. So next episode, we'll probably be see the escape. We don't know how fast they'll quick track it. You might be right, though, that this season might end with him in prison. I don't know, though. There's still 3 episodes left. That's a lot of episodes to be in prison.
Yeah, I would like to see him escape and get out and get back to his stuff and then go into hiding and read the kid's manifesto and
the communist. So there's some other stuff in this episode as well. The walls are beginning to close in on our girl Mon Mothma a little bit. And turns out she's going to have to make a deal with a fucking mobster.
Yep.
Keep
clear. She gotta clear the bank accounts. Make
Yeah.
it look good.
We catch up to Mon Mothma giving a speech before the Senate, and she's trying to plead with them that Palpatine is overreaching. She's one of the few people that are trying to make it known that like, nah, this dude's an authoritarian. Like we need to fucking stop it now before it gets way out of hand, even though it is out of hand. Like
The senator from Chandrila stands with those in opposition to the Emperor's new public safety legislation. Is there a more important issue facing this body right now than imperial overreach?
It's another cool part too. I mentioned this last episode. Like we're seeing like the reaction to Palpatine's rise to power, but they don't even know the half of it, like behind the scenes stuff, the stuff that we know, like the Jedi Sith stuff, right? So that's kind of neat, and that he's building a Death Star and all this other stuff. So really, there's nothing that she could have done. But during the speech, I thought it was funny. We hear shouts in the background, "Long live the Empire!" and "She speaks the truth," and it illustrates, how fucking, it's sort of. I hate to say it, it's sort of reminiscent of kind of like what our current political landscape is like these days, where it's like, regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum, there's things that are like objectively fucking wrong and right, and then no matter what those things are, you're still getting people like arguing about it. Like
we're seeing the CNN and Fox News takes instead of actually like reading the WikiLeaks articles to know what's actually they're up to.
Yeah, right. And there was also a little bit more like I think we know but don't know fully that her driver is like a spy for the Empire. So she's dealing in dangerous territory.
Yeah, I'm sure he is a spy, but it doesn't feel like she's in jeopardy per se with him. I think the story that I found more appealing was the Empire putting their thumb on Cassian's mom, because she's like old, joining the rebellion, and we still don't know who she knows and doesn't know.
Yeah.
Like how did he meet and get entangled in all this? Was it because of her and who she knows? And if they're watching her, are we going to see something like that? That to me is fascinating, and I like them to explore that more, but it's really not. We're watching her, we're listening to her, we'll see what happens. Like, I want to know more about her history with the rebellion and how she is involved.
I had speculated last episode that I feel like she might have been the one who turned on Cassian to what's his name, to get him recruited to begin with. But
Skarsgård's character. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that like a lot of the stuff that they're building that like other shows would build as a mystery to be solved later on. I don't think they're gonna go anywhere with them, and I'm wondering whether or not I mind that. Like, you know, the first couple episodes they really put it in your face about like what happened to him as a kid, right? It was like a mystery.
Yeah, and
you're kind of waiting for it to like be resolved, but I don't think it's going to. Like, I don't think it matters.
I think no, it will.
You think so? I don't know.
The Empire testing, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
We will find out. I hopefully. Excuse me. Again, and that's why this upsets me is because we've been on these 3-story arcs, right?
Right.
And now we're finished with this 3-story arc, but he's still in prison. So we're getting a 4th episode with him in prison, and then we have 2 more episodes after that. So does he break out in the next episode or the episode after that? And do we only get 1 episode where he's not in prison, where he like meets his mom, or we find out the Empire killed his mom and he reads the manifesto? Like, where does this end? Where is it going? We don't know, but it could end with him breaking out in the last episode or the next episode. But
yeah, we'll see what happens.
I don't want 6 episodes of him in prison. I hope he gets out in the next one, because 4 is too much, I think.
Part of his plan to escape is based on the fact that he says, like, we could easily get the fuck out. The guards don't give a shit.
Right.
And he's talking to Andy Serkis about this.
That's why he kept trying to figure out how many guards are on each floor.
Andy Serkis is like, shh, don't say anything. And Cassian's like, nobody's fucking listening to us. Like, they don't, like, they are so, and it goes back again to the hubris of the Empire. Like, they think they got this place on lock, that they don't even care to listen to what we have to say. We could plan the shit right in front of their fucking faces and they wouldn't even know. So so I think that might be, maybe this escape will just be fucking wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Like, maybe it's not going to be a big deal. Well, the other thing I want to pose to you is this too, is like, so in the first couple episodes, we saw Cassian and grew up in this like Lord of the Flies fucking situation. The Empire was doing some weird mining thing. He gets taken, doesn't know what happened to his sister, and that's all we've heard of it. My question to you is, we already know that that's part of his motivation, is to find his sister. And we know what happened to his sister and what happened to him. It's really all we need to know to get to where we are with the character and understand his motivation. The question I wanted to pose to you is, how does it serve the character and the story that they're telling to flesh that out even more to a conclusion? I don't think it really does.
Because because the writers can reveal something else that happened that is pivotal to either how he progresses as a character or why he is the way he is. We do know that an atrocity happened. We don't know the exact details. If we knew more, we might be able to further drill down on that. But until we do, it's just a guessing game. But I hope that we get to see it fleshed out, because I think that what the Empire did it'll give us a bigger picture of why the Empire is evil. What they were doing was neglectful and atrocious and egregious and all those adjectives you could think of that are bad,
right?
Malevolent, malicious. I would like to see them do that. I think it does serve to build his character more than 3 episodes of helping an old guy in prison who's going to die anyways.
That's fair. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. Quick little thing. Gotta just say, I'm fucking sick of Deidre. Sick of her face.
I could have you arrested. You're aware of that.
I want what you want. I sense it. I know it.
You're out of your mind. I have already given you a second chance. You come near me again, you pursue any of this, and I swear I'll have you in a cage on the Outer Rim.
She thinks she's hot shit now that she got her little fucking promotion. She's fucking walking around like a tough guy. I'm an ISB supervisor. I could have you arrested. The bitch, shut the fuck up. But she's getting harassed by Karn in this episode, and that's going back to our theory about the Karn and the Karn and Deidre team up is coming, for sure. And also Karn's mom is the fucking worst. I didn't like him for a majority of the show, but now I actually feel for him a little bit, because his mom is such a fucking pain in the ass. I don't like him either, but his mom's a pain in the ass, and I wish she would leave him the fuck alone. It's like every fucking thing she's just like on his ass about, and he's just like, all the guy's trying to do is eat some fucking cereal. Like,
how serial killers are born.
Leave him alone. Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of cereal,
speaking of cereal, yeah.
I hope Marvin liked it.
Yeah,
I'm sure he did.
We'll have to have him leave a comment down below.
Yeah, we gotta get Marvin's notes.
Yeah, we'll get Marvin, wherever he may be, to leave a comment down below. You guys watching on YouTube, please also leave a comment down below. Let us know what you're thinking of Andor, if you're still on board with it, if you're still liking it. And you can go ahead and click on that playlist over there, which is our breakdown of every episode so far. If this is your first time here, you can go check that out. We'll catch you the next one.
Asta.